It's one of the most exciting racetracks in the entire country, and they've got a full schedule of exciting events coming at you in 2023. Gary Thomas, who is the PR director and part-time announcer at Thunderbowl Raceway in Tulare, is going to tell us all the happenings going on in the Central Valley. That's next. Hello, I'm Ben Dethridge, and I'm the host of Getting Up to Speed. We talk to sprint car drivers from the Pacific Coast, whether they race in Oregon, Washington, California. If they run it, we're going to talk about it. Also branch out a little bit, as well as drivers that perhaps are from here that race elsewhere, or some drivers that come in and try and take some money from the West Coast. In these episodes, we talk about past experience, past seasons, as well as upcoming races, as well as how's the season going. We hope you enjoy these episodes. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps us out. And stay tuned for more and more content. Now let's get into the interview. Well, he's back. He's the frequent flyer here on well, this is Track Talk, Getting Up to Speed. We talk to drivers and individuals. We'll have Gary on for Getting Up to Speed, but we're going to be talking Thunderbowl Raceway 2023, the Tulare, California venue, one of the most exciting racetracks that you can watch some sprint car action at. And Gary, first of all, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Ben, down here in California. We got some interesting weather, but we're hoping it all is good once we get everything going down here.
Well, Thunderbowl Raceway, it may not have a ton of races. It doesn't have, like a 40-race schedule, but what it does have is some exciting shows, action-packed, and if you're a sprint car fan, you're going to definitely want to visit there a lot of times this year.
Yeah, any fan that's been to Tulare or has watched it on the live streaming stuff, you know that it's one of the most action-packed venues you can check out in the entire country, and it's a special events venue. Went that way maybe, 15, 16 years ago, and that's kind of how it's operated. But, you add in the Hanford schedule, you add in the Tulare schedule, and race fans in the Central Valley I think it's 26 total nights of racing. So it's a full slate.
Yeah, that's what's kind of cool that I was able to do last year is, go to a race at Hanford and then the next night pop over to Tulare and just be a fan and just kind of soak it all in. Yeah,
it's one of my favorite races all year is the World of Outlaw show there because I don't really have to do anything, no announcing or anything, and I'm kind of bummed this year that we don't have the 2-day Outlaw show. But, we kind of made up for that with this season opener on March 21st.
Yeah, talk about that. It's going to be on a Tuesday night, and it's the High Limit Series, and it's a non-points deal, correct, still?
Yeah, right, non-points for the High Limit Series.
And that's definitely going to attract a lot of eyes, a lot of attention, a lot of race fans, and I would guess a lot of race cars that'll be making their way down.
Yeah, it's definitely an intriguing show. Of course, what Brad Sweet and Kyle Larson are doing, I think, is a great thing to try and get a little more money in the pockets of some of these sprint car teams, and we're excited to host the season opener. I know Kyle's going to be racing, and the other awesome thing is that it's a good payday for our California team. So, all of our teams that run the NARC series and kind of hit and miss the NARC series are expected to come down and try their hand at winning $23,000.
Well, and it's a quick turnaround to the next race. It'll be that following Saturday on the 25th. USAC CRA is going to be in town, non-wing 410s. Gosh, I've seen non-wing 360s at Tulare. That's when they used to be a part of Trophy Cup, and that was a wild night, and that was actually the last time they ever did that. But non-wing 410s, right. I imagine, was just sensational to see at that place.
Yeah, they're a great show. I think many years ago, the USAC National sprint cars came out for a couple of years, and those were always a joy to see. And USAC CRA, some years they run Tulare, some years they don't. So this year it's exciting to have them back on March 25th, along with the local Kings of Thunder 360s and the Western Race Saver 305. So right there, you got 3 classes of open wheel race cars.
And for folks that may be listening in the Midwest or the East Coast, Central Valley, strong breeding ground of some pretty successful non-wing sprint car drivers.
Yeah, it's really, over the years, has been super healthy with racing down in that area. You have some of the kids coming out of the micro ranks as well that, they hop into race cars and they're fast right off the bat. Some of them race the Chili Bowl, the Tulsa Shootout, and there is a lot of talent down there in the Central Valley.
Well, we moved to April 14th and 15th, 2-day show, NARC 410 series in town. Dennis Roth Classic has returned, but is expanded to a 2-night operation.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun show. Back-to-back nights with the NARC 410s and the Kings of Thunder Wing 360s. And as you said, it's expanded to 2 nights this year. The finale is going to pay $8,300 to win. So, that's a solid payday for the NARC series. And Dennis Roth has been a huge part of Thunderbowl Raceway over the years. We can't do racing down there without him. And it's nice to honor him for the second straight year. Of course, last year he went in the Hall of Fame, the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame. And the Dennis Roth Classic is going to be one of the premier showcases down there in the Central Valley this year.
Well, and last year, I went to that one. That was actually the one that I popped over to him as just a race fan. It's like, man, especially the 410 race, this is why I love sprint car racing. You had 3 guys just racing the snot out of their race cars. Dominic Selzy, Rico Abreu, and Corey Day. And it came down to the wire.
Yeah, was that an awesome weekend or what? The night before at Hanford was, I don't know, probably the race of the year, and then you followed it up with that classic at the Dennis Roth Classic. So, anytime you get a chance to see Wing 410 sprint cars at the Thunderbowl, it's a can't miss opportunity. Yeah,
and I'd never seen 410s there, and I was.
Oh wow! Okay.
Because I'd always come down for Trophy Cup, so it was it's been a 360 race for quite some time now, and I just was never able to come down for an outlaw race for whatever reason or a NARC show. So that was it was definitely great to get baptized that way.
The outlaws, when they're out there early in the year when the weather's cool and the track is tacky, I can't miss hot laps. It's one of those places you just got to watch every lap because it's so intense and just right in your face and fast and Tulare, it's that's one of the crown jewels.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like my deal Trophy Cup is like, especially during hot laps, it doesn't matter what's going on. I was doing some TikToks last year, and Steve Faria, plug your ears for a little bit, but I was pretty close to the fence, and just that rumble that gets in your chest, and just the sensation of the whoom, 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 whoom. And it's like going into turn number 1, like that's my spot right there. Like I just love it. So I think
just the sound of those cars is just amazing.
I think there was some public service announcement specifically for me to step back from the fence. So apologies.
We have a group of
don't put me on the red list.
We got a group of guys that kind of our traveling fan base. They stand down there in turn 4 on the fence, and they stand right on top of the action. Every so often we have to make a public service announcement, so just back away a little bit, please.
Yeah. No, I wasn't doing that, but I was getting the steps in with the double bob stroller. I was getting my
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
My pre-workout for Disneyland after Trophy Cup. So it paid off. It paid massive dividends.
I believe it.
So April will also be hosting a Kings of Thunder 360 show, the E.M. Tharp Golden State Peterbilt Classic on the 29th. And, 360s are just as amazing to watch as the 410s.
There's a lot of great teams down there in the Central Valley. We talked about, not Hanford or Tulare run a gigantic schedule, but when you throw them together, you get a pretty good slate of races down there for the 360s as well.
Well, it's really cool that, and we haven't really mentioned too much about this. The Kings of Thunder series is, basically they run Hanford and Tulare, but I think they've expanded a bit to Merced. They got a couple races there as well. So it's really cool to see these Central Valley tracks working together, not, kind of resurrecting what, there was once the Rebel Cup, and it's kind of took in a new form of that.
Yeah, it's a lot of. Right now the promoter groups in Tulare are as good as you can get. With Peter Murphy over at Hanford, Steve Faria, Josh Miller, Scott Woodhouse, and the gang at Tulare that are just, they're all working together, and that's benefiting, the entire racing community out here.
Well, May 20th, it has just one sprint car race. Kings of Thunder 360s will be in town for winged action. USAC CRA back in town for the Chris and Brian Faria Memorial. That's been a staple event that's been around for quite some time, and it's changed. Different sanctioning bodies have ran on it, but it's great to see that the tradition is still going.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, it's been some years it's been an ARC race, some years it's been Kings of Thunder or just USAC, but it's the most special night of the year for the Faria family. Of course, it's been the longtime promoters at the Tulare Thunderbowl, and it's a staple on the schedule and one that everyone at Tulare is honored to hold every year.
Well, and then before you know it, it's October. And what's really cool about the schedule, and forgive me if I'm incorrect on this statement, it looks like it's new to the schedule. They have the Trophy Cup tune-up the weekend before Trophy Cup on October 14th.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be a really good event. Of course, last year that's when the Dennis Roth Classic was held with 410s and 360s, but this year it's going to be just 360. So, I mean, you could easily get 60 cars to come down and want to test their metal 1 week before and kind of get a final tune-up. Obviously, when you look at the schedule, we don't race from May 20th until October 14th. So, if you're a team in California, it obviously would behoove you to come down and get a little test and tune action there, along with the Race Savers and the Legends of Kearney Bowl that night. Well, and, of course, you can stay in camp the whole week.
Yeah, exactly, because before you know it, here comes Thursday the 19th. That's the opening night of Trophy Cup, and then it will be ran on the 20th on Friday night. And, of course, it all caps off on the 21st of October, and this is a must-see event. It has grown and become, just a powerhouse of sprint car events, not just in California, not just on the West Coast, but the entire country. And I think it just continues to do better and better and better, it seems.
Yeah, that's our crown jewel on the West Coast. I mean, obviously along with the Dirt Cup, I know that's a great event up in Washington, but we're real proud of the Trophy Cup down here in California. 3 days of great racing, and above and beyond, it's about raising money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So that's what's continued that event every year. And I actually just talked to Dave Pusateri a couple days ago, and talked a little bit about all the same food events that were there last year are going to return this season. Going to have a live band on Thursday and Friday after the race is over there by the eating events. And then, of course, it was announced that more purse money is on the line. So now it's going to be, if you make the main event the final night, you're guaranteed $6,000 for the weekend. And then a lot of money was also added to the B main as well to try and help out those guys and girls. And, it's all positive things for the Trophy Cup. So, we're excited. Of course, it seems like it's a little ways off, but it always gets here before you know it.
Yeah, and that's totally awesome that that they keep it up and they keep, like I said, making it better, finding ways to improve it. And for folks that have never heard of this event, the winner of the Trophy Cup not necessarily is the winner of the final night on Saturday. It's a point accumulation. There's a couple prelim nights. You take your best prelim night point total, goes into Saturday night. There's inversions. There's all sorts of crazy and wild things, but it's all about racing, 100%. If you want to win Trophy Cup, you got to be passing cars. You got to get up on the wheel.
Yeah, every time you hit that racetrack, you got to pass cars. I don't know who it was, if it was Dave or somebody had said, once you lose points, you're not making them up. So that's what makes it so critical. You got to pass cars because, I mean, a lot of times it does come down to one or two cars. Last year, I don't think there was quite as much drama as Shane Golobic pretty much put it to everybody in the main event. But, there's been years where it's come down to 1 point or one car. So you just never know how it's going to shake out. And that's what makes it so fun.
Well, and I think what has also really made it interesting is when they expanded it from, this would have been 2015, I think, maybe 2014. They expanded it from just 2 nights, like a prelim on Friday and then the finale on Saturday. Then they have the Thursday prelim, and you kind of have a throwout. But what happens is it makes it close. A guy might have been terrible on Thursday, but on it Friday or vice versa. And so going into that final lineup with the inversion, top guy in points starts in the back and the guy with the least amount of points that makes the feature starts up front. It instead of there being like a 10-point gap here or there, it was, it can be 1, 2, 3, not very much, very little room for error.
Right. Yeah, some people say, well, you should count all 3 nights, and some people, you kind of got people saying different things. But I know at the end of the day, it's to give those guys another chance. If they're, if they have a terrible first night, they got another shot to still give themselves a chance. And it's also, as you say, it's to keep some of the point totals close to where we have that drama come Saturday. So there's no, one guy that's up by 20 points going into the finale. So as long as the Trophy Cup is around, as long as Dave is doing it, he's basically said we're doing it this way, and that's how it's gonna roll.
No doubt. And for people that want to seek information about Thunderbowl Raceway or the ongoings on in Tulare, what are their best options to find and seek that information?
Yeah, the best options to check out the Thunderbowl. You can log on to thunderbowlraceway.com, or you can like the track on Facebook. You can search, I think it's Tulare Thunderbowl Raceway, to find all the latest breaking news regarding Tulare, and it should be a good year.
Awesome. Well, it's great to have you on here, Gary, and I'm literally looking forward to going down to Tulare a few times this season. And yeah, it's always a good time.
All right, Ben, I appreciate you for having me on here, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the Thunderbowl this year.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to this latest episode of Getting Up to Speed with me, Ben Dethridge. We hope you enjoyed this program. We hope also that you hit the subscribe button and the like button, as that really helps things out, spreads things out. Be sure and share as well on social media so that more people can listen to these great interviews and from these great drivers. Getting Up to Speed is a production of Highside Racing Promotions. For more information, you can check it all out on Facebook, Highside Promotions.